also in a very different time. Critically, you could play Piercing Howl, and then you could pick it up from Momentum with a 2-diff Foundation. Can't do that in Standard right now.
Ouch. You can just pick it up out of your Momentum with a 3
diff.
difficulty.
Much different. Much different.
A 2 difficulty action, though. Oh.
Dark Tournament Looms is unplayable. Don't at me.
Just because my baby brother, Dark Tournament Looms, and my big brother, Surveyor, you can't compare. I'm a little kid. I get to my older, cooler Surveyor brother. I just want to feel important, too.
R2, table space 3. Gosh.
Is
I've
it
been
actually?
hoodwinked.
I hope it's not.
Well, Senor Lucha is here. Yeah.
There's almost 10,000 people playing on Tabletop Simulator.
Wow.
A lot of dorks.
So yeah, this promises, I think, to be a very interesting matchup. We kind of have the old versus the new, versus the old again versus the new at the same time. Like, I'm passingly familiar with both these decks, I think, at least. And there are certainly going to be retro cards in both decks here, and certainly going to be standard cards in both these decks. It's not just a forward port of an old Iori deck. And I'm excited to see how this plays out. And I think we're just going to see a fairly straightforward sort of aggro versus control matchup here. Lord Raptor is going to try not to die, and Iori is going to try to kill him. With maybe some tempo elements, I think, where Lord Raptor is going to be trying to disrupt Iori's staging area, or really just destroy his foundations and make his control checks more difficult with Breaker and things like Leg Shredder stun on block. But principally, it's going to be about basically just how much vitality Lord Raptor can keep on, and how much vitality, and like, can he find a backswing against Iori? Does Iori leave himself open? And also just straightforward, how much can Iori put on the table? Yeah, are you in?
I am in. We are good. I have to change who's where, though, on my player list.
And we're off to it. So we're seeing some evil cards out of your. Ooh, we're seeing a nice turn. Oh. It's not the turn one you want to see against a Breaker 2 deck, but.
Build 2, that was it?
Yeah, build 2, but they are 2 quality cards. So Outworld's Heiress means he'll be able to convert an Enhanced Step. Like, if he gets actually, no, that's not true. Aegis Unwise cancels Outworld's Heiress, so that is a blank card. He did get a That's in this kind, which is a huge damage bump. And that's it once he gets Desperation. And whoa.
All right,
we just do not care. Yes, in. And I have an idea that what might be in Jesse's hand here, he might have a Flash Lightning, which effectively is a 1 difficulty attack that doesn't count to progressive, and will effectively let him no-sell a Breaker here.
Yeah.
And yeah, Jose has, if this is quite possibly the only block step he's going to get this turn, because all of Jesse's attacks are going to be wearing +5 speed after this point. And yeah, there's Flash Lightning. Okay, he could block this Flash Lightning as well if he has another block.
It's got to be the mid block, though, right?
Yeah, it's got to be. Well, so Flash Lightning is a interesting older card. It will clear the card pool if it gets blocked, but the zone actually won't matter if he uses the enhance.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Because it goes to momentum instantly as opposed to
yeah.
So it just won't do any damage.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Ooh, oh, yeah. So here we're seeing the principal retro card, Superior Technique, getting to respond to Iori's Enhance to get any card out of Lord Raptor's discard pile, but he checks a 3 on it and just lets it fail to try to have the one chance to block here.
Somewhere Chris Bromley is taking a sip. Okay, another
Double
flash
lightning.
lightning.
This is brutal.
Spicy.
Yeah, this is really the power of URI on display. So by drawing cards like Flash Lightning that go into counter progressive, he gets to draw 2 cards and discard them. So if you skim over and look at his hand, he's gonna have 5 cards in hand after this attack resolves.
Yeah,
and that's as many as he started with. He's seen 10 cards this turn, and he only has 1 progressive difficulty. All his attacks are incredibly fast. These cards that start at 0 are already at 5 speed, which is I guess not quite a failable number. If he has a +2 modifier, he can still, if he checks a 3, he'll be on 7, or no. Yeah, he could fail that with a +2, or God forbid, obviously a +0 or a +3. I think we're going to see here is that Jose is holding on to a high seas adventure to try to flash a lethal attack. No, that may have been error, or that may have been Jesse trying to jump into desperation here to make a attack easier. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, Flash Lightning connects again, and I imagine that High Seas is going to respond to whatever this is, just to keep the speed lower. It's still going to be a 5-speed attack.
Sweet in this deck. Wow.
It's nice, yeah. And okay, maybe not going to High Seas. Now it's up in the air if we want to High Seas or not. Because it's only 5 speed, it's not going to get any faster. It will get bigger by 1, and it'll let Jesse draw a card, which might not be the value you want to get out of your Flash.
Do we have hand trap tools like Deliverance?
Oh, let's find out.
Keep ourselves alive. Wow, we fail another block.
Oof.
Wowzers. Going down to 4 on turn 2.
Man, so if that Outworld Dares was still in play, Iori could still be ready here, and he could actually just remove this Gyro Crush from the game to burn Jose for 2 more. And if he has any other orange card in that 4-card hand, would present lethal.
Yeah.
Needs a 6 on this, which will... No.
Close.
Oh,
hey,
man.
Evil, I'm sure, has a ton of 6s.
Yeah. Not an insignificant number.
3 momentum and then just big chills. Just says, hey, do 16 real quick. Which I think Raptor could easily do, right?
It's possible. It's not necessarily... Ooh, yeah, that's a very good start.
That's the way to start.
Yeah, so that's that's going to present 10 damage. That's basically going to put it away here. Probably very, very, very likely. Yeah,
he just goes and takes his 10, goes to 6, finds a Stinging Skull.
Yeah, and this is going to be 6 speed as well for lethal damage. So
yeah.
Wow.
Huh.
Yep. So we went for it on 1 or went for it on 2, and after that mulligan, we had a very real shot at finishing it.
Yeah.
But I mean, only one of those attacks was played on not a 3 difficulty, and he hit a 3 on it. Well, I guess 2 of them were attempted and hit 3s and hit a 3 and a 5, but it wasn't quite enough with the tiny staging area after that mulligan.
Yeah, it kind of just shows you like how much of a glass cannon Iori is, right? Like if he messes up once, he's just so rock and roll that he's just gotta find his way. This is actually a rock off. Is that what's happening here? Iori and Lord Raptor. This matchup got way cooler. This is the coolest matchup you'll see all day.
Okay, so actually the hand trips out of Iori here, I imagine he's siding out his revokes, but there are both Taguro Brothers and Blood, Sweat, and Beers to cause some headaches potentially.
I think Blood, Sweat, and Beers is a totally fine card, unless you can't block anything, right?
And actually, it's also good in the staging area. Lord Raptor plays a lot of responses. From Breaker to Healed by a Shaman especially, or High Seas Adventure, or Ageless and Wise, or actually, yeah, it's going to be... it seems like a very, very powerful tool here, but...
What does Zealot Rush even do? That's before me.
So Zealot Rush, it has 12 million words. What it says is that you play it as an action card. It goes directly to your staging area when you play it as a form. It goes committed. When it enters
Okay.
your staging area for any reason, you draw a card. And it has enhance remove, ready your character.
Playable committed or no?
Not playable while committed.
Okay, okay, okay. Word.
So, it's basically a 4 difficulty cantrip. It immediately replaces itself.
Yeah.
But if you play it on turn 1, you can fail it, whatever. And then once you have played it previously, it's untap your face. Counteract a stop, or you commit your character to pass a control check, then immediately untap it as an enhanced step.
As much as Iori would love to start at 6, I feel like Yo, I want to talk about is this the card? No,
Nailed
this
it,
isn't
yeah.
the card.
Nailed it's a card.
Nailed it is for sure a card. There's the one. I think this might be like Brashful or something like that. I want to say it's like a vice card that says after you discard a momentum or gain a momentum or something like that, like get +1/+1.
Yep, that exists. Yeah, brash and aggressive.
Yeah. Super, super crazy inside of Rando.
That's a free one. Yep, we're seeing Zealot Rush come in here, immediately come down and cantrip. Checks a 3 on it, which is unfortunate, but...
I've never noticed a little B in the bottom of Zealot Rush.
That is actually Ben Shoemaker.
No way.
Yeah.
What a cutie.
Yeah, I think that's before he started winning stuff. And that's UFS House bullying him.
That's awesome.
These checks are not what you want to see here, and also neither is Nailed It plus Aegis and Wise plus Girl Like Any Other plus Affinity Phobia. So yeah, effectively, like Iori's ability says, after you've done this twice, I start drawing cards.
Yeah.
Nailed It says, well, hey, listen, I get to draw cards too, or I get to untap my foundations too.
Yeah. And untapping Girl is pretty solid.
Yes.
It just says minus. It just says negate Iori, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Check a 4, negate Iori.
Yeah, so this is a nice setup, but this is far from over here. So this is still a 7-speed attack. This is not trivial to block, even with a Girl Like Any Other and Aphidiophobia and everything.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Jesse's just this is very much a not committal state for Iori to be in, right? He's checked 2 3s. He's not necessarily happy with that, but he's not in bad shape either. And it's up to Jose. He does have to spend. He only has 2 cards in his hand, so and he's just gonna eat all the damage to this, effectively 7 damage because of Iori's fat response, which we didn't see last game.
Correct.
And yeah, because of Violent, he's drawing even more cards now. Yeah, so he's back. He's going up to casual 7 hand size. No big deal. Probably just gonna build out here. Or we're gonna play some Flash Lightnings. That works too.
Unless.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah. No, Flash Lightning makes perfect sense here because it either tickles him for 3 damage, and you can let Jose draw a card if you want to with Nailed It, because you're drawing cards too.
Yeah.
But there's nothing to untap, so that doesn't matter, and it's going to momentum if it gets blocked, or it also makes Jose lose 3 more life. Yeah, I think we're discussing Nailed It mechanics probably here.
Man, Nailed It seems really cool.
It's a very, very powerful effect for sure. And it's purely reactive, but it's powerful enough that it's not uncommon just to not play your abilities, just to turn everything in your staging area into a virtual once per turn, because Nailed It can generate so much more value than it.
For sure.
I have to feel like we want to be building here, yeah. And it's going to be a nice... Oh man, look at all these poor poor foundations. But Nailed It does say ready when foundations has not been ready this turn, so maybe the Violence and Soul of the Swords here and Iori enhances, like they'll still be... That goes to your staging area, dude. Those will still be active next turn, just because you can only use Girl Like Any Other twice. Just doubles up.
Right.
Yeah, we're seeing a little bit of a all right, yeah. Hurricane of Death here coming in here, debuilding 2, and presenting a nice thick damage output for, just safe on a 5+. I think this is the kind of the quiet thing about. Wow, we already have a match result. Holy crap! Um,
So much for Jesse's. I'm always first.
but yeah, the quiet thing about Raptor is just like Hurricane is a hell of a card.
Yeah,
And it comes out when it comes out on 5 difficulty, you just hard check it, or even if you check the 3 there, it's not that bad.
Tyler Clark absolutely cannot stand this card. He thinks it is overstated.
It's a big boy. And Jesse's dropping really low, really fast here. So now is he going to? He's got to pump damage here, right? And just threaten lethal, because the speed just, yeah, looks like damage.
Yeah. Go for that half block.
Ooh, yeah.
That doesn't feel great. It just
Living on the edge.
This just says that Iori's like not a character anymore.
Yeah, take 5. If he's got 1 violent activation for +2/+2, and then he's got 8.
Oh. No way.
Wow.
Wowzers.
Easy clap.
And there it is. And he had 2 more attacks.
Holy crap.
Could he draw hotter?
That's yeah, pretty good.
Insane. Well, it looks
you,
like Lord
in that
Raptor.
situation, you just have to wish your opponent checks bad and only like multiple 5s.
It was impossible. He couldn't. He had all his attacks in his hand.
Wow. Well, yep, we did have a fast Iori match.
You were right. We do get to see a second match. Well, congrats to Lord Raptor for being the bigger rock star.
Yeah, that's pretty much how that feels. You know, there were certainly some elements on the table, but just who was the bigger rock star is the decider there. Feels like.
I will find us a new match. Sorry, my camera is frozen. It will freeze in between, I guess, every time that we switch to whatever.